Mrs. Merton, and these are Hulky and the boys. They're getting better, aren't they? Well, we've got a great show tonight. All my friends are here. Ada's here, Jean's here, even Bernard's here. And we didn't think he'd make it tonight, what with his ailment. Don't worry, Bernard. We won't say anything about it. We know it's embarrassing. So, on with the show. Have we got guests tonight? We've got piles, haven't we, Bernard? So, please welcome my first guest, the heavenly body that is, Russell Grant. Sit anywhere you like, there, near me.
That was ever so continental on both cheeks.
Oh, I know.
It's been a long time since I've had a kiss on both cheeks.
I bet it has. Well, these cheeks. So let's start off. Now, I'm a very, very big fan of yours, Russell. I really am.
Don't make me laugh, Mrs. Merton, because you do, you know.
Well, I think your horoscopes are very, very accurate. So, you know, how long does it take you to make them up of an evening? A long time.
Oh, Mrs. Merton, I'll have to have a polo. You give me dyspepsia.
I
like you so much. Actually, it doesn't take very long, because I gather that you're a Capricorn, Mrs. Merton, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
That's a very, very nice sign, because it's the sign of old age. You carry it off beautifully, darling.
And you know, what are you, an Aquarius?
That's right.
And I was reading somewhere that meant you're ruled by Uranus. Is that true?
Well, back to that original thing I said, you see, being kissed on both cheeks.
Yes, indeed. Do you think they'll ever find a little man on Uranus? They probably will. It'll probably be an American, won't it? You know, it always is.
Well, it may be.
But tell me about star signs, you know.
Actually, I was looking at your aura as I came in.
And what did you see?
I saw, like, an advert, and I saw you saying, and this one's got wings.
Did you?
I did. And I think that it's move over Claire Rayner.
And it's time for me.
I mean, could you not just say that for us, Mrs. Merton? By the one with...
Really, really.
You don't think
no,
so?
No, I don't hold with all this sanitary wear. No, it's not.
You like the stuff that stays up by itself.
Russell, who would have thought it? But of course you do the horoscopes in the paper, don't you?
I do, my darling, yeah.
And you know, your column, it really sticks out, I've always said. I bet you can't see it yourself.
Darling, I am going on a diet, and hopefully I will be able to see it in the future.
Do you ever look at your own column in the mirror and compare it to all the others?
That's the only way possible these
I bet
days.
it is, yes. But tell me...
You are so wonderful. Go on.
Tell me about star signs, because it's possible to get people wrong, because I always thought a friend of mine, Lily, I always thought she'd be a Pisces, what with her smelling of fish and that. It turned out she was an Aquarius, you know.
It seems to me that it's quite obvious that you attract Aquarians. I mean, you've got Hooky there, you've got me, and you've got your friend Lily. I don't think Hooky smells of fish, though, does he?
Oh, he does. Why do you think he's so far away? Just start something. Are you all right, Bernard?
Yes, now.
Do you need a cushion or anything? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
Oh, lovely.
You do appeal to the more mature audience, don't you, Mrs.
I
Merton?
do, don't I? But tell me, were you interested in astrology as a child, you know?
No, it was later on. It was about the age of 15. I can't talk seriously to you, Mrs. Merton. I think what you'll find is that in my biography, that there's a lady called Zia Szymanski who was a bit like Marianne Faithfull. She was dressed all in leather.
Yes.
She had a big helmet on.
Yes.
And we were at... Oh, I just have to bring that up. Polo's are wonderful, darling. Lovely.
What is it that's ailing you exactly?
Well, it's dyspepsia.
Dyspepsia.
It happens, you see, when I'm kept away from food for more than 4 seconds.
And it's happening now.
Well, it is. I've been kept away by at least 8 seconds.
But come on,
Mrs.
back with this
Merton.
boring story about that woman.
Yes. She was the one who actually introduced me to astrology. Her name was Rita Szymanski, but she became Zia.
Yes.
Because her numerologist said that her name was better as Zia than Rita.
Really?
And she taught me.
And were you studying your charts at the time then? Were you?
I was more into psychic work then, with a lady who looked very similar to you, actually.
Really?
A wonderful lady called Doris Stokes.
Oh, Doris
She was a
Stokes.
Capricorn too.
Was she?
And she was very, very psychic.
Oh,
but I
that's
think that you see, I think this is a vocation.
Yes.
I mean, shouldn't we just sort of be silent for a second and see what you can pick up?
I can't see you polos.
No, we haven't done it.
Is it, you do all these predictions, is
Yeah.
it possible to predict the start of a lady's menopause? Or is it best to ask a doctor?
Yes, the best way to actually look is to actually look for the moon. You see, the moon travels around the same amount of days as it takes for a lady's...
Don't
Pinky.
mention it.
No.
Don't say it.
No,
All my
best
friends
not,
are
isn't
in,
it?
no.
I know, I don't want to upset Ada.
But, Mystic Meg, for example, we see her every week on the lottery. Now, she's a barn pat, isn't she? do you know her?
I've got to say I have never met the kind lady, but I've heard that... I've heard it's an interesting show that the BBC have there.
Yeah. She predicts the lottery every week. How come she's never won it herself? Something there for you to think about. You know what I'm going to do with you now, Russell?
Oh.
I'm going to throw you open to the audience in here and see what sort of questions they'd like to ask you. Now, what would you like to ask Russell?
What do you predict for Hooky and the boys in the future?
Well, I think Dr. Hook is going to go a long way, don't you?
You.
I think he's going to go a long way. I see Salford.
So, this lady here in the front, she's dying to ask a question.
Hello, my dear.
I really am, yes. Is it true you have crystal balls?
Well,
can you
she
say?
obviously thought the way I walked in at the beginning.
We all did. I think she's a Virgo. I think that's what it
She
is.
was when she first came in.
I had to get my own back. I'm a Capricorn too.
Well, there you go.
Love Capricorns. Look at this, Mrs. Merton. Of course we do,
He
darling.
said we looked very old. And
No, I said, no, it's the sign. It's the sign of old age, which means you get better. This is a terrible shot. It means that you get better as time goes on.
Yes, yeah.
For later years,
Russell, you're making me feel sick. But you know something, when you do your horoscopes, even if it is a load of old codswallop, we enjoy watching you. You're very excitable. You've got that entertainment factor.
You see, but I'm only excitable with people I like. See, I don't do a lot of shows, Mrs. Merton.
Do you not?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm offered a lot of things like Jack and Nori and the news, but I knew when your name came up, I had to be there.
Well, that is a lovely way to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, will you thank Russell Grant? With the threat of Maastricht forever looming on our minds, and employment just around the corner for so many, Doesn't it cheer you up to open your newspaper and see a picture of the royal family on a foreign location enjoying themselves on our behalf? I know it does me. But some folk would do away with the royal family. It's time this issue was sorted out once and for all. Let's have a heated debate. So, Ada, let me ask you, should we get rid of royalty? What do you think?
No, we shouldn't get rid of them.
No.
But they could go out of sight for a while, couldn't they?
At your house?
Sort themselves out. No, shut the doors in Buckingham Palace.
Really?
And sort themselves out and then come back.
When bouts then? How long should they go away?
Oh, leave them for about 10 years.
So, would you like to be Queen, Ada?
No, I wouldn't.
No, why not?
I think royalty is good.
Yes.
When we look on them as royalty, but now there's got people involved in the royalty that aren't bred to be royalty.
Yes. Who exactly is this then?
Fergie. Fergie's caused a lot of trouble.
She has, hasn't she?
She's given them temptation to do things that they weren't allowed to do. And they've taken her up on it, haven't they?
You seem to know an awful lot more than everybody else. Any more nonsense you'd like to share with us?
I don't know.
No. So, strong views there from Ada. Let me ask Anne, what should we do with royalty? Should we get rid of them?
Not really, but I think they could make that big Buckingham Palace into flats because there's a lot of folk that go
So,
out.
who thinks Charles should be king? Oh, I know, we'll do a vote like they do on Kilroy. So, you have to put your hands up for this one. Put your hands up if you think Charles should be king. Now, put your hands up if you think Charles shouldn't become king. Oh, hang on a minute. You've put your hand up twice, haven't you? What's your name?
Margaret.
Margaret, you're making a mockery out of what's a serious debate. Right, we'll do it again, just for Margaret this time, OK? Because everyone else did it right. Do you think Charles, lovely Charles, do you think he should become king? If you do, put your hand up. Lovely Charles, who, you know, we know the crown would fit him, he talks posh. Do you think he should become king? All right, then, do you think he shouldn't become king? Oh, you're daft, you. But what people don't know, Jean, you're very quiet tonight. Who do you like? Are you not
Queen.
The Queen. You like the
Yes,
Queen?
I like the Queen.
And what people don't know is that the royalty, they do a lot for charity, don't they? And Princess Anne, I've actually heard her divulge that herself, so straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. But let me see now. Who's your favourite royal?
Queen.
The Queen? We've got another one. Who's yours?
Queen.
What about you? Who do you like royalty-wise?
Well, it's got to be the old Queen Mother, isn't it?
Oh, say, where are you from? You're
What?
from London, aren't you? Gee, look at me, hobnobbing with a cockney. But, do you know, I once went to London through no fault of my own. What I did was, I stopped in Birmingham on the way there to get used to less friendly people, so something there for you to think about, a little bit of advice. But because we wanted a balanced debate, we wrote the royal family and we said, would you like to come on the show? And I'll just read you their official reply. No. So, firm views there from the palace. Still, we sorted it all out without them, didn't we? So, give yourselves a round of applause. My next guest is a very fetching lady indeed, and I caught Ookie and the boys looking through the keyhole of a dressing room earlier, along with the producer and the director. In fact, the only person who wasn't trying to glimpse the stocking tops was Russell Grant for some reason. Will you welcome the former Ladybug, Countess Bienvenida Sokolov?
I am continental.
Are you? Oh, lovely. Sit down. We're like twins, both in blue. But you Ah, very beautiful, can I say? You're absolutely
kind.
lovely.
Thank you.
Especially after Russell Grant. But now you are an expert on seduction, aren't you?
Amongst other things.
Oh, well, yes. When was the first time you realised you could seduce a man?
I think every little girl, when she reaches, I think probably her teens, she's aware of her femininity. And
Yes.
slowly we just kind of channel ourselves towards that direction.
Yes.
Anyway, that was something I did, yes.
Say, for example, I mean, you're very beautiful, but say a more ordinary woman like, say, Ada. How would she seduce a man? You know, any little tips for her?
The key to seduction lies in the hands of any woman, regardless of age. Basically, it's a smile.
A smile?
She's got it,
She's
so
got
you're
lovely
okay.
smiles.
Beautiful, that's very important. A smile is always very important.
Yes.
But the key is just being confident. It's being
Confident.
confident as a woman.
As a woman?
Yes.
And what if you're trying to seduce a man on a pension? Like Ada, what would you suggest then?
You give him your time. It doesn't cost very much.
It doesn't cost nothing, does
No,
it?
and you can buy a few candles and you give him the foods that he likes. You know what you do with the candles, up to you, but you know they're... they can be very handy.
Ada's got electricity now. I don't want to, you know, break up unhappy past memories or anything like that. So
It's
I'm going,
quite all right.
Well, I'm going to be as sensitive as I can. But tell me about your torrid affair with that chief defence bloke. What happened there then?
Well, one thing for sure, he was no tornado. I can guarantee
He was
you that
no
much.
tornado?
Not in bed.
So there you go. So you're married now.
Tightrope.
You're married now to the Russian art dealer Count Sokolov.
Nicholas, Nicky.
Nicholas,
yes,
Nicky,
yes,
Nicky.
Yes.
Sokolov.
Yes.
Aren't you? So tell me now, how did he propose to you? Was it very romantic?
Do you want to know the details?
Yes. I think we are, don't we, Ada? She only goes to bingo normally. This is lovely for her.
My husband and I went shopping to Paris, and he bought me a little garter from Chanel.
A garter.
Yes, and he hid my engagement ring in it.
He hid the
You can
engagement.
just imagine what took place thereafter, but it was just there, and it was so...
He hid it in it.
In my garter, yes.
And you were wearing it.
Yes, yes.
So did you feel it? Could you feel the ring?
I knew something was moving.
So, you see, if my husband planted something on me, I'd nip to the ladies and have a little look.
Well, I had it already there prepared.
Yes.
It was very kind of...
What restaurant was this?
No names mentioned, it was very private.
But you know, when I said we were having you on, my husband, Mr. Merton, who isn't as romantic as your husband, but I was different to you, I played hard to get. And what I did was... with Mr. Merton, you know, made him wait years before he heard me say those three little words, if you must. When I said we were having you on the show tonight, he remembered very fondly that picture of you he'd seen in the newspapers when one of your bosoms inadvertently popped out of your dress, and just at the moment the photographer was there. What happened then?
He wasn't just there, they were following me everywhere.
Following you?
I couldn't breathe, I couldn't move.
Well, it's no wonder they popped out. A friend of mine, Lily, a similar thing happened to her. She was at a British Legion gala dinner, and one of her... Pardon?
What did she lose?
Well, one of her bosoms.
Oh, God.
You know, it came loose, it separated itself from her cleavage, and it went full pelt into the gravy.
I think we should go to the RAF and get parachutes.
Yeah,
And carry them in our
parachutes.
handbags, yes, just in case.
You've seen my friend Lily, haven't you? At this
think I
point,
have.
Bienvenido, it's a lovely name, that. It means come in, doesn't it, in
Not
Spanish?
quite.
I'm going want to, at this point, throw you open to everybody in here and see who'd like to ask Bienvenida a question. Who'd like... Oh, Bernard, we knew you would want to. Bernard, what would you like to ask Bienvenida?
I just want to ask her, which food do you consider the most romantic?
He's hoping you'll say grapes. Which food?
Grapes only apply if you're taking a bath together.
A bath together? Oh, Bernard.
It could be arranged.
So, who else has got a question for Bienvenida? What about this young man here? Well, older man here.
Thank you. Bienvenida, after an evening out, when we returned home, how would you seduce me?
Oh!
I think I would give you a very hard time.
But why? You don't normally. But you have such a lovely accent. You know, everything you say sounds sensual. It really, really does. Say this for me. Say, come into my boudoir, my darling.
Come into my boudoir, my darling.
Oh, lovely. Ada.
Sounds different, doesn't it?
Eh?
Sounds different.
Does sound different.
More romantic.
Well, why don't you give it a try?
I don't know.
Oh, go on. Say it. A little, say it. Say, come into my boudoir, my darling.
Come into my boudoir, my darling.
Not quite so inviting, though, was it? Bienvenido, we could talk to you all night. Will you thank the lovely Bienvenido? Well, Bienvenida, you and I and every woman in the nation would love to seduce my next guest. He's easily the sexiest man on TV. Most of you will have already guessed who it is. Britain's favourite weatherman, Fred Talbot. Lovely.
What an introduction.
It's lovely to have you on. But, Fred Talbot, what's that in Spanish, Bienvenida?
Federico, yes, simplemente.
Federico.
Federico.
Lovely.
And there's a very expensive French wine called Chateau Talbot, they call it there.
Really?
It's about 25 quid a bottle, because somebody sent me one a few years ago.
Did they? Because people send you stuff, don't they?
Oh, I get a lot of stuff.
The women send you in woolly jumpers, don't they, off this morning?
Yeah.
Well, a friend of mine, Lily, she started knitting you a jumper with a map of the British Isles on, but she'd got up to the neck, you know, she'd finished, she'd only got as far as Carlisle. So she knitted you a balaclava with Scotland on. So something there.
Well, I did get sent a
forward
jumper
to.
which I wear with the British Isles actually on. It's in yellow. And
Really?
the lady who knitted it forgot to put Ireland on it. And I pointed out to her, I wore it on the map, and I said, you've forgotten Ireland. And a few days later in the post came Ireland, so we've actually had to stitch it on. But Ireland is a patch on this jumper.
Lovely story, that, Fred. But, we all see you on Richard and Judy, don't we? Tell me, what are they like, Richard and Judy? What are they like behind the charade? What are they like?
Lovely couple.
Do you get on well with them?
Absolutely, yes, yes, oh yes. Yes.
Does it never bother you that they're there in that warm studio and they've got you out risking your life on that weather map, jumping up and down, you know?
I have a secret fantasy.
Is this for Bienvenida? You sure?
It's for Richard.
It's for Richard?
I would love him to come out on the mat one day. I'd just like to go, oh! It'd be the end of the job. I'd just like to see him go straight in the dark. Don't you think that'd be rather nice?
I think it'd be lovely. It's dangerous, isn't it, on that map? You know the way you leap back and forward to Ireland?
I did it once, actually, near the beginning, and Ireland wasn't connected and it drifted off.
But what's your favourite weather?
Cold and frosty. I do like cold and frosty days. I feel better on cold and frosty days. Then you can actually justify the jumpers.
What, Roy, you've been quiet tonight. What's your favourite weather?
Very sunny and very dry.
Really? And why do you like that sort of weather, Roy?
It's ideal for making passionate love on the grass.
But you know, the pollen count.
Yes.
I mean, you know, who counts it? imagine? You'd be halfway
Believe
through.
it or not, just down the road from here in Salford is one of the places they count the pollen.
Really?
They do it daily during the summer.
But you'd be halfway through it and the phone would go. I mean, it's just the type of thing that would happen. Do you know what I like to hear you say, Fred? I like to hear you say it's raining in London. I don't know why it's funny. Isn't it, Anthony?
Something that I'm sure wouldn't interest you particularly is that a pint of beer is cheaper up here than it is down south.
It is. Do you know how much it is in London now? £55 for a pint of beer. But that, that includes the train fare, so... But you're a big sex symbol, aren't you? You're a big...
I haven't got the figure for it. I haven't got the looks.
You've got the weather map. My husband, Mr. Merton, you know, he's not romantic now, but in his younger days he was. And he always, Bienvenida, used to pop a little something through my letterbox every morning. Little letters. But he was a postman, you know, it was his job. But, you know, we're having a great time, aren't we? Are we? Are you having a good time?
I'm thrilled.
Ada, you having a great time?
Yes, we're a mixture and it's great.
Do you know the only person who isn't here? Little Russell Grant. And you know he's probably back there.
So
Be through those sandwiches. But should we bring him out again?
Yes, please.
Should we bring him back? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Budge up, Bienvenida. Welcome back, Russell Grant.
These are so nice.
But do you know something? We're having a great time. We really are having a great time. Are you all right, Bernard?
Yes, ma'am.
We haven't forgotten your plight.
You're very kind.
That's not romantic, is it? You know, piles. Bienvenida.
Depends which kind of piles. Are you talking about money or...
We're going to have to leave it there. We've got no more time. I'd like to thank all my guests tonight. Fred Grant, Bienvenida Talbot, Countess Russell Sokoloff. Take it away, Hookie and the boys.